Was I Am Legend anyone else's introduction to Bob Marley? Safe to say I was a fan from that point. So about this film, I was pleasantly surprised to see that it does not have the typical musician biopic formula where it shows them going on the downward spiral with drugs and alcohol, etc. And I quite enjoyed the second act of this film, where it's Bob Marley and the Wailers in London, just kind of hanging out in the recording studio, testing new sounds and coming up with new songs and new lyrics, and then eventually going on tour. There were some good vibes in that portion of the film. I just enjoyed kind of sitting back, relaxing and just enjoying watching Bob Marley and the Wailers just enjoying themselves, making their music, going on tour. But I was a little bit disappointed with the film as a whole, because I feel like as an exploration of Bob Marley and the impact of his music, it kind of felt a bit lacking to me. It sets it up fairly well at the beginning when it shows the civil war going on in Jamaica and Bob Marley wants to become the symbol to unite the people and stop the whole civil war from going on. But then in the second act, he and the band move to London and again start working on their album Exodus. And he keeps saying that he wants to unite the people and he wants to just bring the whole world together with his music and whatnot, but the emotional weight just isn't really there because you're not seeing the impact of his music. You're not seeing what his music is actually doing. Then in the third act, he gets his cancer diagnosis and returns to Jamaica to put on another concert to unite the people. And just as he gets to the concert, goes on stage, it cuts to credits, and then we get the typical end of biopic on-screen text. And during that on-screen text, we see actual footage of the real Bob Marley doing some pretty cool things. And I just thought to myself, why did we not get to see that in the film? Why did the filmmakers and the writers not depict these events that they're telling us and showing us about at the very end of the film in the epilogue? I mean, it was really cool to see Bob Marley and the effect his music had in this particular moment, which I'm not going to spoil in case you don't know, like I didn't know before seeing the film. But it feels like the entire film was building up to this moment that I was looking forward to seeing in the film, only for it to show us the archive footage of the real event that I could have easily have just watched on YouTube. It just kind of made the film feel like a bit of a waste of time. Not to mention that it feels like kind of a bog standard biopic on a filmmaking level. There's lots of flashbacks to his childhood and there's like slow motion bits where he's thinking about his childhood with the dramatic music in the background, so it doesn't really stand apart from the pack as a film in that regard. Prior to this film, I was not aware of the true impact that Bob Marley and his music had, especially when it came to the civil war in Jamaica, and it was cool to discover and learn about that through this film. I just think that the emotional weight of that was not captured to its fullest extent in the film itself with what it chose to explore, so it just left me wanting a little bit.